need a minute. I'm late. I'm almost an hour late. I'm so sorry. But I lost track of time for the live today. I know I said 4 o'clock for the Q&A. I am so sorry. So sorry, guys. I know a lot of you wanted to catch it right at 4 while it's live. It's almost 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But for those of you who said you did want to watch, you can also catch it on the replay if you're still at work or if you're still driving home in your commute. Do not try to watch and drive. Please, please, please. I want you guys to be safe on the road. If you're commuting to and from work, daycare pickup, school pickup, whatever you're doing, I want you guys to be safe. So once again, for anybody who's new, who's tuning in, welcome to Surviving Tween-dom, my queendom of raising my tweenager and my teenager, both girls. Please remember to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those are the most important things. So today is the Q&A. We are live right now. I lost track of time, like I said. Today was crazy. If you watched my segment yesterday, I talked a bit about wanting to get back on track because I had been sick for the past week. And so far, so good. I did sleep in, which I totally freaking deserve. I was up until 4 o'clock in the middle of the night doing business plans for a client, okay? So I've been to bed late. I didn't have to do the school drop-off today because the girls were with their dad last night. So I slept in. Hold on. Let me just put my phone on silent because otherwise you guys are going to be hearing that like crazy. One second. One sec. Actually, I'm going to put it on vibrate, because the girls are out with friends right now. So I want to keep it on vibrate. Okay. So I had 2 business calls and then a personal call. And then most importantly, the one thing that I did say yesterday I wanted to get on top of, while I was sick, my house turned into complete disaster because I usually have a routine of things I do every day. And so today was the day that I was able to just try to do a deep clean and get back on top of everything. So I'm starting to feel more like myself. That's the good news. So I got some good questions that came in. Some of you didn't specify if you wanted your name to be mentioned or not. So for those who didn't, I'm going to keep you anonymous. Okay. Some of you I know, and I don't think you care, but some of you I don't. So just to keep it straight across the board, if you did not specify, I am going to keep your name anonymous. Okay. So it's not to say I had any time to really think about how I'm going to answer these questions, because the idea is, again, with my channel, I want to make it as authentic as possible. And honestly, like I said, I was so busy this morning. I didn't even have, I think I'm shaking my table too much. I was so busy this morning. I didn't even have a chance to really think about the questions. I saw them come in, but I kind of just glanced over them. So I'm going to answer them as I go along. If you see me looking down on my phone, again, it's because my girls are out. So I just want to make sure that it's not them. Give me 1 second. For anybody who's joining, once again, welcome to the channel. Okay, so let's get right into it, okay? No fluff, no stuff. So my first question that I got was, I think next time I'll have them separated, right? But I'm looking at different things because I got questions that came in literally through Instagram, email, and actually some of them by text and WhatsApp. So I'm going to be referring to my phone. So just bear with me, guys, okay? So the first question that I'm going to answer is from Veronica Vavi, and she is in Toronto, downtown Toronto, Ontario. And she asked me, what are your thoughts on the recent news on T.I. checking his daughter yearly to determine if she's still a virgin? while praising his 13-year-old son for losing his virginity. Okay, so I think it was 2 days ago I saw something about that on Facebook, first and foremost. And I love T.I. I've always loved T.I. I love, 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 love T.I., okay? So the first thing, when that came up in my timeline, I saw the picture of his daughter with the article. I read it and I was like, I didn't even pay any attention to it, because at first I thought, okay, who does that? That can't be true. This cannot be true. But then, as you know, with social media, news travels fast. So then it kept getting shared and shared and shared. And then I'm like, okay. And then I think I even saw something about it. Somebody commented, I think the blogger started picking it up, because I'm big on listening to a lot of like YouTubers, right? So a lot of bloggers started picking it up, but I didn't listen to any of the stories because it kind of irked me. And I was like, okay, I don't even know if I want to know. I was at that point. And then when Veronica sent me the question today, because I'm going to be speaking on it, it prompted me to realize, okay, I should probably at least try to figure out what this whole thing is about, because now I'm actually seeing memes attached to it. So I didn't watch any of the interviews. I haven't read the article yet, but just hearing it and now hearing that let me just see this again. Praising his 13-year-old son for losing his virginity. Both, to me, as much as I love T.I., both of those to me are just ridiculous. And not even one more than the other. Veronica raised the issue of the double standard, which is definitely one thing. And I think that there are a lot of parents that hold their kids to a double standard. They have a higher standard for their daughters than they do for their sons. And this is why a lot of males go into relationships definitely unequipped, emotionally, mentally, physically, because of the different standards. Women are held to a higher standard, and which is why we have a lot more on our plates. But the double standard aside, the whole, like I said, it completely irks me that he would even think to do that with his daughter. I really have to listen to this interview of him saying this out of his own mouth. I'm not saying I don't believe it, but there's no justification for it. I am going to make it a point to watch it over the weekend. I just didn't have time today. The question came in today. I didn't have time to sit and actually read any articles or watch the interview, like I said, prior to going live with you guys today, because I was doing things. I am going to make it a point to watch it over the weekend, and I am going to probably do a segment about it sometime next week. I don't agree with it. I don't know how old his daughter is. I don't even think it matters at that point. And I'm not even just saying it's because he's the dad. Even if it was the mom, I just think it's definitely a violation of privacy. I believe his daughter's 17. I don't know if I'm just pulling that number from the sky. I think I saw in one of the articles somewhere that she's 17. But regardless, I just think it's disgusting. It irks me. What irks me even more is like I said, none irks me neither one irks me more over the other. But what irks me also, I should say, is the fact that he's praising his 13-year-old son for losing his virginity. First of all, 13, you're a child. You're 13. You're not even in high school yet. I think that's just as disgusting, and I think that irks me also, because a 13-year-old's a kid. You've only been on the earth for 13 years. And not to mention, a 13-year-old male can still get a female pregnant. Who wants to be a dad at 13? Who wants their child to be a dad at 13? I just don't even think that's something to even praise. So honestly, I believe that after watching the interview and hearing this come from his own mouth, it'll definitely make me look at T.I. in a different light. Because at the end of the day, I'm one of those people, you can't separate the man from the music. The man is the music, and the music is the man at the end of the day, right? So I'm bracing myself to have to kind of divorce my infatuation with T.I. based on this information, but that is my answer to that question. So that's the first answer to my question. The second question that I received, we'll say anonymous, from Atlanta, Georgia. But the question is, what is your drive in your everyday life when you don't want to get out of bed? That's a good question. First of all, when I don't want to get out of bed, it is really hard to get me out of bed. So it really depends on what I have to do that day. If I'm definitely a believer in listen to your body, but you can only listen to your body so much, because depending on if you're feeling motivated or not, if you're in a state in your life where you're not motivated, your body could tell you every day, sleep all day, watch TV all day, and eat shit or eat junk, right? Pardon my language. So you have to be careful with that. But I am a big believer in listening to your body's cues and signals and stuff. But if I were to answer the question on what motivates me to get out of bed every day, even on the days that I don't want to get out of bed, the short answer would be the girls. Because at the end of the day, I have to make sure it's my responsibility to keep everything in order. If I don't feel like getting out of bed and fulfilling a contract or fulfilling a job or fulfilling an obligation work-wise that I am set to do that day, then I run the risk of disappointing a client and not getting the job done, and therefore losing business, and therefore losing money. And then the more money I lose, the more I cannot pay my bills. And then our queendom, as I like to call it, is diminished. So it's basically that. And I have to say, summer was a rush because we were so busy work-wise, the team. We were out every day, I think 7 days a week working. Things have slowed down significantly for landscaping and outdoor season because the weather's gotten colder. There's snow outside, for instance. Today was a bonus because some of the jobs that we are supposed to be doing, we can't do anything right now because there's snow on the ground. So it's allowing me to catch up in other areas and catch up, especially with administrative stuff. But the days that I definitely have to get out of bed when I don't want to, it's remembering that I have to keep a roof over the girls' heads. And we wouldn't be homeless, but my computer's freezing. Sorry. We wouldn't be homeless, but I love my home. I love my freedom. So it's definitely that. The short answer is the girls. The girls are definitely my motivation. And I'll add to that, I know that they look at me. I'm their role model. And I know this because even in some of the little things that they do and say, I notice that they mirror a lot of the things that I do, just even in their actions and their words. So that definitely lets me know that they're watching me. And therefore, on the days where I'm not feeling so motivated, I just have to get up and I have to do it, if that makes sense. Let's see. Another question that I was asked is, and this came all the way from the West Indies, Caribbean. I'm not sure which island, actually. What do I consider the ideal family, and what do I want in terms of like family life for myself? That's a big question. If I was asked that question 6 years ago, when I had just turned 30, like coming out of my 20s, the answer would have been definitely husband, another baby, white picket fence, big house, 2-car garage, that sort of thing. 6 years later, now after everything that I have experienced, seen, gone through over the last few years, the most important thing to me and what I feel makes the ideal family is that everybody in the family is happy. Sorry, I keep shaking my table. Is that everybody in the family and everybody in the household is happy. Sorry. It's hot chocolate. that everybody's happy. And when I mean happy, I mean happy. Mental health is important for, like, not just mine, but the mental health of my kids. That we're living in a healthy environment, that we all get along, that the environment isn't toxic. I think and the ideal family is feeling whole, and that there's love, and everyone's not living in a toxic environment, and everyone's happy. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the kids will be in a two-parent family or living with mom or dads. They could be living with their grandparents. They could be living with an aunt or uncle. They could be living with one parent or both parents. They could be co-parenting. I don't think it's so much the family dynamic that matters, but more so that everybody in the household is happy and it's not a toxic environment. I think that's what the ideal family is to me. And what I would like for the future is, the most important thing to me, obviously, are the girls, and to continue co-parenting with their dad and to make sure that they're happy. I think that, stability, future stability also is very important for a family. So in terms of building a legacy for your kids, making sure that we provide something for them. I think, and again, I talk about this a lot, but it's a little bit different when you have West Indian parents from a different generation, because most of our parents came here as first generation Canadians into North America, and they worked, but they didn't have that much to give us. So I think our generation is really looking forward to being able to leave a legacy for our kids, whether it's business, some sort of real estate, some sort of investments. But you want to be able to help your kids along, see them off through school, post-secondary, whether they decide to go to college, university, trade school, anything. Help them build some sort of a foundation for themselves and guide them along. And again, the most important thing for me is their happiness. Their happiness and their mental health is the most important things. I mentioned yesterday in a segment that I am going to be doing 6 weeks on Mondays, talking about Money Mondays. And financial literacy is also really important. And that's also a legacy that I want to build with my kids, and something else that I want to teach them. But in order for me to teach them financial literacy, that's something I myself need to have down pat, right? So, and there's so much that we don't know when it comes to money, like I said, but we'll cover that on a Monday. But that's what the ideal family looks like to me. It's being able to provide, teach my kids things that I wasn't taught, or, and again, most importantly, their happiness and their mental health. It's not so much anymore about whether or not I get married, or whether or not I live in like this big 6-bedroom home with like a 3-car garage and all these things. That's all nice, but what is ideal is happiness and not being in a toxic environment. Yeah. So let me see. I had a few more questions here. Oh yeah. Okay, this question, and I said I was going to answer all questions. Okay. This question comes from Pickering, Ontario, and it actually happens to be from the girl's dad. The question he asked me is, my kid is a vegan. Where did I go wrong? So he's referring to Kaya, our older daughter, the one who's almost 18. I'm going to answer this very simply. John, we didn't go wrong anywhere. I think it's absolutely amazing that Kaya is a vegan, to be honest with you. I think it's great. Prior to her being a vegan, when she was only pescatarian, okay, and I'm answering him directly right now. When she was only pescatarian, she was eating fish, Ben and Jerry's, chocolate, Tim Hortons, Starbucks, Frappuccinos, you name it, whatever. Okay. Now that she's vegan, she's taking the time to actually shop for her own foods, plan her own meals, cook her own food. She's eating a lot more healthy. She's taking her vitamins. She's mixing her shakes. Like, I absolutely love it. It is costing me probably 200% more money, or I should say me. It's costing us 200% more than we were probably spending before on her food alone. But like I said, she's happier, she's brighter. Um, she has more energy, although this week she's been really tired due to school. She's eating healthier. She's taking her vitamins. She's more accountable for in terms of feeding herself and being more independent. I absolutely love it. I have zero complaints. Again, my goal one day, soon, somewhere in the near future, is to become vegan also. So I don't think we went wrong anywhere, John. I think it's great that Kaya's a vegan. Okay. So moving on to the next question. Let's see here. Okay, so I have a question from Marie, and she's in Vaughan. And the question that she asked me is how I keep my teeth so white. So thank you, Marie, for one. To be honest with you, I don't know. Thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I keep my teeth very white because I'm just very big on my oral health. So no matter what time it is and how tired I am when I get home, I never skip teeth brushing. I also brush my teeth for at least 7 minutes twice a day. I try not to drink a lot of caffeine. Last week I was drinking a lot of tea, but I try to lay off the tea because, again, caffeine stains teeth. Caffeine is a pop. Coffee, as you know. I don't smoke weed or cigarettes. And like I said, I brush my teeth like crazy. I actually thought that my teeth weren't as white anymore because I changed my toothpaste to a little bit of a cheaper brand. It just happened to be the one that came up. I stock up on everything. So this one doesn't have that extra whitening stuff in it, which is obviously not good for us anyway. But I honestly didn't think they were as white as they were before. My mom made a comment the other day, so it kind of, but yeah, that's it. Another question that I was asked. I was asked a question from Hiron in Barbados, West Indies. So he had asked me if I find it difficult being self-employed. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is very difficult. It's hard. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. I'm still learning, and I've been self-employed for quite some time, but I still would not give it up for anything. And the reason is because it allows me to be able to schedule, I would say 90% of my day around whatever the girls have to do. And even if it's at least not for the day, I can schedule it for the week. So it allows me to be there for the girls more. I'm definitely not knocking anybody who's not self-employed because, like I said, it is very difficult and it is not for everybody. Everybody has their own reasons for wanting to work for themselves. And like I said, you heard me say it earlier in the segment, in the summer, I was working 7-hour days. Granted, in the summer, I was able to bring the girls to work with me for the month of July until they both quit on me. But prior to that, I was able to bring them to work with me so that they could learn some responsibility, work and make money, and actually see that when mommy brings money home, it's not like I just went out and went bowling all day or went shopping and yay, we have all this money. I wanted them to see literally what I go through in a day. And I remember my oldest daughter saying to me, wow, she goes, I would not want to be you for a second. She said, I didn't realize like how many calls you take in a day, how long you stay on the road, how much stress you go through. She's like, I had no idea. And of course, kids don't. That's why they implemented grade 9 take your kid to work day. I think the reason they did that here was so that kids have an idea of what they want to do in the future and also see what it's like when their parents are working. And I really think that they need to do something like that, not only more often and not just in grade 9. I think they need to do it through all of high school. But the short answer is yes, it is extremely difficult working for yourself. However, I would never discourage someone from doing it. There are certain things I would tell you to consider before jumping into it. I would also suggest easing your way into it. And if you ever have any questions, you can always send me a message or email me, and I'd be more than happy to answer. Again, that's something I also do for a living. I do a lot of business and career consulting. So I help people who are looking to move up in their current field, move into a different sector, or for people who are looking to start their own business, who need a little bit of mentoring and things like that. So again, you can always reach out to me. So guys, those were the 6 questions that I selected for today's Q&A. We will do this again next Friday. Okay, so have your questions ready. No question goes unanswered, so you can ask me anything. I hope I answered everyone's questions without rambling too much, because I do ramble sometimes. I do. Prior to actually coming live, part of the reason I was late, I told you I was cleaning and I was getting everything together and I had to take the garbage outside, and it is absolutely freezing. I'm actually really upset because here in Canada, like Toronto, we literally had 1 week of fall where all the leaves were changing and it was so beautiful. And the girls and I went on this beautiful fall hike. And then all of a sudden the weather just dipped and it's like winter. There's snow on the ground. And I don't even have a winter jacket. Okay. I bought like a semi-fall winter transitional jacket that my daughter has completely like hijacked from me, and she wears to school every day like a cape. I can't seem to get it back. So I need to go and find myself a new winter jacket. But I went outside and it is freezing. So I literally, after this live, I have to go into Ajax to go visit a client really quickly for a job that 2 of the guys are going to be doing next week. And I got to do my groceries. I hate doing groceries on Friday, but I don't have a choice because, like I said, I am not eating out and I don't really feel for anything I have here right now. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm having for dinner. What are you guys having for dinner, by the way? Drop some ideas for me in the comments if you guys know what you're having for dinner, because I have no idea what I'm having for dinner. But when I went outside, sorry, off topic, when I went outside, I couldn't believe how freaking cold it is. It is almost making me not want to go back outside. I ran inside, threw on the thickest socks I've jacked up my heat, and now I'm even thinking twice about going anywhere for the rest of the evening. Like, I was so excited when the snow fell at first. I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I can't wait till winter. I want to ski. I want to do this. I want to do that. And now I'm just like, no, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not even ready. I don't even have a proper jacket to wear outside right now. So pray for me, guys. Anyways, it was lovely answering your questions. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment in the comment section. And ring the bell for notifications, most important thing. That way you'll know exactly when I'm going live. If I'm ever late again, which I'm going to try not to be. Again, I'm sorry for being late today. And remember that Monday is going to be the Money Monday segment, week 1 of Money Mondays, okay? Financial literacy. Remember, teaching financial literacy to our kids is very important, and they can never be too early to learn about money, okay? Everybody, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I can't say for certain if you'll hear from me again, but over the weekend, I mean. But yeah, have a great night. Bye.